Yes, very well indeed, my
Yeah.
friend. Very well. I spent a bit of time in my emails this morning, and I saw an interesting email from your good self. How are things?
Yeah. Things are. I mean, that things are things are good, right? Things are great. They're a little crazy, as the email said. Bottomed out the bank account.
Yeah,
Um, the marketing budget is. I mean, at this point, it would be really smart of us not to market anymore because we owe $5,000 and we only have $2,000 in our actual business account.
yeah,
And then so it's like, okay, cool. Logic would tell me to focus in on the leads, the current leads that I have, and see if I can convert them to apps to basic to a lead, right? And so we were just looking at the numbers. We have about 1,100 1,100 leads on our list, and we have about 11 apps, though. Most of those are
inactive right now.
inactive, or we don't know what they're doing.
mhm.
So that's about like a 1% lead to app ratio, even though some of them have like bailed, kind of like we spoke about last time. So yeah, I just feeling like the pressure of it. It's fun, it's exciting. It's like, okay, cool, shit's really real.
Yeah. Congratulations, my friend. You are reaching this point where growth is inevitable. How would you talk about your belief? Because we had a conversation about belief a little while ago, and I know there was still sort of some areas to work on. Like, has that changed since then? Do you still feel doubts, or do you feel a lot more dialed in than you used to be?
I mean, definitely a lot more dialed in than I used to be, and there's still. So I'm working with for Gareth and Magda, like as I'm kind of their Catherine,
Right? Yeah.
though, and so I speak to a lot of their like apps who come through, and some of them even go on to members, and then they bail out, and they're like, "Well, this is not what I thought it was," like blah 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 blah. Blah. And that brings up all of my old, like, yeah, dude, you're totally right. I don't know about this thing either.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of it where Kelsey and I are in the process of creating our own like relationship coaching business based upon all of the tools that we've learned through SFM, right? And so it's like, but this shit's fucking awesome. Right? Like it worked. And just because we haven't like had success yet doesn't mean
in the monetary
route. So, it's just like it's a big jumble. And I know it's just part of the process, and I know it's ultimately like leading me to where I need to get to. But yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, in that situation, the beauty of it, as you know, is that we get to choose which stories we subscribe to. And the fact that you've got conscious awareness about it, which most people, who are not going down this kind of journey, generally speaking, most of the time wouldn't. We're just ruled by our stories and our programming. But with conscious awareness, you can look at it and you can listen whenever those stories crop up and go, well, is this what I want to believe? Is that the story of past CJ, or is that the story of CJ who achieves everything and anything that he wants in life, builds any type of business that he wants to build? What story exactly? What version of yourself does that story belong to? That's the choice that you get to make. So when you talk about, so you're at this position where you've run out of money in your bank account. I hit exactly the same position. I talked about this at the end of March, actually ran out of money. And obviously the difference was January, I was fearing for my life. And then actually end of March, it was like, bring it the fuck on. Like magic's going to happen. It was like pure belief. And I talked about how at that point, the tax rebate that at some point in the next month was going to come in, dropped in my bank account the afternoon before my black payment was due. And the entire time before that happened, I was like, something's going to happen. Like, genuinely believe it. Something's going to happen. It's going to work out. It's going to be absolutely fine. And then boom, check dropped into, money dropped into the bank account. And I was like, knew it. Absolutely knew it. See, like, fine. Right. And that for me was just like that solidified any remnants of past belief system that might have still been around. It was literally just like, whoosh, cut that shit out. I fucking believe, like, I know that I can make it happen. And then the moment that happened, come May, June time, I was starting to get traction. So June was the 9 grand month, July was 21, August was 29. So end of May, start of June, I was seeing the conversions really starting to come through, but I still, that 4 grand ran out. So I ran out of money again. But at that point, I was seeing it so like easy to just find more money. Before, I saw it as absolutely impossible. But this time around, it was literally like, right, I'll just get out the piece of paper, I'll do the exercise that I've talked about, I'll write down my goal, write down the 10 things. And I literally like blitzed about 10 ideas. And I was like, well, every single one of them could genuinely work, and I could probably make them all happen within the next week if I needed to. And it was just like the clarity that I saw that with, because then suddenly I had to believe, like, it's fucking obvious, right? It's easy. Like, finding capital. It's where I never got it when entrepreneurs said finding capital is the easiest thing in business. I was like, fuck off, is it? Like, but then after going through that process, I'm like, oh shit, it actually is really easy. We just can't see it when we stop ourselves seeing it. So for yourselves and the position that you're in at the moment, I do believe that starting to put your focus, your attention on nurturing your leads is a wise decision. I don't necessarily believe that stopping the momentum you've built up with marketing is the right decision. What I think is the right decision is for you to level up your resourcefulness. Start looking at, well, I'm thinking at the moment in terms of my past programming, i.e. fixed mindset of, this is my money's run out. Now I have to get a job. Like, that's fixed mindset. I've run out of resources, I have to stop marketing. Growth mindset is, well, no, I want to keep marketing. I've got some great momentum. I'm on the right track. I know I'm heading there. So the most important thing is to continue marketing and continue building on what I've created. How can I find the capital to do that? Right? That's gathering the resources that will enable you to continue fulfilling your goals, instead of letting your goals be dictated by the resources that you have available. Fixed first growth. So the question I'm just straight away going to throw at you guys is, what could you, and this is literally going to be the 10 things exercise, like, what could you do right now to continue down the path that you're already making great progress down, to continue marketing? How could you get resourceful enough to make that happen?
Aside from getting a job.
Getting a job could be one of the options, but what else could you do?
Okay.
We could get a loan from the bank.
All right, let's write these down. Let's do the 10 things.
Maybe we could get a loan. So
I'm just going to throw a little caveat out here for this exercise. So if it's an idea that could work, all right, we put it down. Take out of the equation whether you want to or don't want to, or whether it's sensible or not, or logical or not. Like, none of that shit matters. And if it's easier to do this as someone else, so like, what would Stuart Ross do? What would Dan do? Whatever, like, that can make it easier. So if it's an idea that you could get money, the only non-acceptable solutions are illegal solutions or solutions that harm other people, i.e. scamming people, right? That shit's not allowed. Other than that, anything goes. So loan from bank, get a job.
Let's see, what else could we do? We could do what Jane and Tom are doing, of creating that business and leveraging marketing skills to.
I was literally had in the back of my mind, queued up, ready to go. Tom and Jane is a perfect example.
Nice.
Create marketing agency.
Cool. Let me drop this in here. Get a job. Create marketing agency. Tom and Jane.
Sell a Prius.
Sell a Prius. True. True.
I'm, you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
throwing them
like,
all
just,
out there.
yeah, right. I mean,
Perfect.
if I was Stuart Ross, you know, he's got like 17 Porsches, so it's like, well, I need some capital quick. Let's just, you know, offload one of the Porsches or maybe the Ferrari. I don't know, just. Ours is only a Prius, but you know, it's good. It's good. It's a good vehicle. Let's see. But like, how much can you get for a kidney?
Let's also draw the line at selling bodily organs. That would come under harming yourself, I think.
All right.
As a nurse, I've seen some nasty repercussions of that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What else could we do? So, I mean, you could. I guess that's under getting a job, but you could start flight instructing again.
Yeah, I think that's a good job.
Yeah, that's a good job. We could ask someone for money. Let's see. We could ask.
I know. I had that thought too. Ask Betsy.
Oh yeah, ask Jesse for money.
Yeah.
For a loan. Ask a friend. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Awesome. I mean, parents are kind of out.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move into that Airstream and nanny for room and board.
But that won't really give us.
That will give us the $1,200 we spend a month right now on rent onto other things, marketing.
Okay, that's true. That's bold.
You're talking about selling a kidney. That's not as bold as that. The difference is. Funny.
Let's see.
What other things do we have in this house?
High ticket things that we can sell. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have valuable things. We don't even have like expensive engagement rings to pawn off. What would Dan do? What do you think Dan would do? I think Dan would just pull out his magic wand and.
Oh, you think that's what he does? That's the problem.
Look, there it is. We're 3 away from 10. We need 4 more. Does that work?
What else could you do with the Prius?
What else can we do? Rent it? I mean, I'm already doing Lyft.
Okay, all right. So you're doing Lyft.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I'm paying rent.
Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah.
What other types of loans could you get?
Well, let's see. We can get like a business loan.
What, like another credit card?
What else is there?
I mean, if we had a house, we could remortgage the house, but we don't have a house, so that's not going to work. What else? What other? Let's see, business loan, credit loan, personal loans, obviously.
So let's put this as personal loan.
Yeah. What other kind of loans out there? Personal
Ever heard of crowdfunding?
Crowdfunding? Oh, kind of like GoFundMe.
No, that's charity, isn't it? GoFundMe.
It's like you donate to a cause.
Yeah.
What's crowdfunding?
So crowdfunding is basically it's a platform where people with money that want to invest, they'll invest in crowdfunding companies. And what that means is, let's say, keep it simple. Let's say 10 people with 100 grand spare capital. They want to make a return on their 100 grand. They invest it with a crowdfunding company. Crowdfunding company's got 1 million that they will then lend out to people like you and me, for example. We'll borrow that money and we pay interest on that money. And then most of that interest will go back to the investor who invested money in the first place, and the crowdfunding company takes a cut. So it's not from a bank or a financial broker, it's from investors, and it's managed by a company. So it's different sort of credit rating, different approval process. And yeah, lots of investors just go into a pot, and you get a part of the pot depending on what you want to borrow, what you're eligible, all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Worth investigating.
Yeah, never heard of that. Huh, cool. I mean, that opens up the gates for like just investors, but I don't think anyone's really gonna, invest in.
Well, they're not investing in us. We're getting a loan.
No, I know there's crowdfunding, but I'm saying another possible route is investors, but it's not really a viable option.
Why wouldn't someone invest in you?
For SFM, because typically my understanding of investors is that there's it would benefit them in more than just financially. They would get like a bigger cut of the company or something like that.
Depends.
Why wouldn't they invest in you?
Why would they not invest in me?
Yeah, you just have to make the package where they get like a monetary return on it.
Yeah.
It's not about like your beliefs of the viability of producing money.
Okay.
Maybe.
So maybe we should write that down. Is investors, angel investors specifically, so that they don't want to have anything to do with the business and just money. Angel investor. We could go the what you call it, the Gary V way, and just buy a bunch of shoes and resell them on eBay. Yeah.
All right.
He's very adamant. He's like, I believe that anyone in this room could make 6 figures by buying a bunch of shoes and selling them on eBay. What is that? There's that specific term, like demarcation price or some shit. Let's see. What else? Crowdfunding investor, moving into a trailer, ask friend for loans, a Prius, create a marketing agency, get a loan from the bank, job, work more.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the job thing. So at the moment, we're calling it get a job, and obviously we're defining job as
not SFM.
Yeah. Now, other than a traditional job, we've touched on where's it gone? There we go. So create a marketing agency. What other types of things might you do that could be trading time for money, or freelancing type arrangements, or basically ways of generating additional income?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've actually looked in. I've started mentoring a kid, a 14-year-old, and that's paying me. That's only $200 a month, but that is, it's $200 a month, right? And that might scale up to something else. And
you have the job interview.
You got the job. Yeah, I've got a job interview for being a driving ed instructor, teaching people how to drive, because why not? And
I mean, you could nanny. That's really good money. We're looking into that too.
Yeah, I could nanny. And
you go back to growing relief.
That's not an option for me.
Just got to put everything down.
Okay, yeah, I can go back to growing relief.
What did you say there? Going back to
growing relief is my old
job.
My old job that I was working at. It's the job that I quit to do this.
okay.
Yeah. And I mean, we could just start paying clients for Inspire Life, right? I mean, that's but
definitely.
it takes marketing and stuff. So, let's see. I mean, I could take on like do you know about Craigslist?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Craigslist has like a bunch of like gigs on it, it's just like one-time gigs to go get paid. So I could do that.
Go to a coffee shop and start working at a coffee shop or a grocery store.
So let's say other traditional jobs.
Yeah.
Etc. Okay. Craigslist, one-time gigs. What other? So what about your skills? What skills do you have that you could offer? And some of these may repeat, the kind of stuff up here, but that's okay. So let's just get down all of your skills.
Yeah, teaching, mentoring. I could do shamanic healing.
Yeah.
See clients that way.
You're a flight instructor.
Yeah, flight instructor, teaching.
Well, teaching includes both. You've been a wilderness therapy instructor, which is very different than being a flight instructor.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So when you said teaching and mentoring, were you kind of like grouping these two together, or were you thinking other stuff as well?
No, yeah, that's good. Teaching, mentoring, then flight instructor and wilderness therapy instructor, shamanic healing. Let's
break this one down into additional categories besides these ones. Like, what else could you teach or mentor?
What else could I mentor? I don't know how to put it into words. How to be awesome.
Should we call it life coaching?
Coaching.
Yeah, we could sum it up in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how to have really good relationships. That's what Kelsey and I are doing.
Yeah.
And we're underway of. I mean, that's probably the most realistic. The quickest, because we've done so much work with that already.
What's the least realistic?
The least realistic out of the skills, or out of everything on this?
Well, you just said that's the most realistic. What's the least realistic thing you can think of?
The least realistic, probably winning the lottery.
That's not on here.
Oh, it's got to be on here. Oh,
let's ignore that. Things that you can directly control.
Probably wilderness therapy instructors, the least likely.
Really?
What's even less likely? What else could you do that's even less likely than that? Think even further outside the box.
You have something in mind. I'm so curious about this.
I don't necessarily have something in mind, but I'm sure that you might have some extra things that at the moment your mind doesn't think is possible, and so isn't.
I think I'm hanging on to making money with SFM, which is funny. It's like, because there's that part of me that's like, if we just get the apps and get the apps to go to members and members to elite, all I need is one black sail and fucking sweet. Of course, yeah, yeah, that would totally just change. I mean, we'd have marketing budget, like something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's that part of me that's like, but that's not going to happen. So I think that's a very, I don't know, that to me, that's kind of like winning the lottery.
Except you're so close and you don't see it.
No. Sorry, what's that?
I said, except you're so close, but you don't yet see it. What about, so let me throw another question at you. So let's imagine that SFM, as of this moment, ceases to exist, right? SFM affiliate business is not a thing anymore. SFM doesn't exist. It never existed. It vanished off the face of the earth. But you still got the knowledge that you've got, and you're still where you're at right now, just no SFM. Also, let's pretend that going to work a traditional job is not an option. Okay. What might you do then? Without SFM, what other things could you do to build a business, generate income?
Well, take a multitude of ideas and figure out how to turn it in, and monetize it. I mean, that's, yeah. I mean, just taking all of the skills, marketing, right? Like marketing for local businesses, but we already mentioned that. Yeah, I just would create another business and fucking go. And
I think you're on the right track, because short of creating products or selling other people's products, or physical products businesses, all of which take an element of mastery and an element of time to get up and running. There's one product that you have available at the moment that is an awesome product, and that you can immediately start tapping into from a multitude of different angles. Care to guess what that product is?
Yes. Are we supposed to guess?
Yes, we're supposed to guess. It's marketing. Like, we're like it's education, right? It's teaching people how to.
Kind of. Even more simple than that.
How to affiliate market?
Forget the how. What's the product?
Affiliate marketing.
What's the thing of value that you can offer to other people?
Thing of value that I can offer other people. You're having so much fun with.
I know, this is fantastic.
We're over here just like, oh my god.
Yourselves. So everything that we're talking about here, your knowledge, your skill sets, not just how to market, not just whatever, how to build a business, etc. Your education, the knowledge, the experience that you've had, everything that you've built up until this point, there is incredible value there from a multitude of different reasons, which we've really started touching on here. But again, as an exercise, because do you remember when I talk about the 10 things, the point of it, when we get to this point and it starts getting really frustrating, we're like, what the fuck else? Like, what else is there? Yeah. This is where we have to start looking at things from different perspectives, different angles, other people's perspectives, like all these different ways of seeing things until your brain starts to grasp concepts that it couldn't grasp before. So if you, again, as an exercise, let's look at yourselves as a product. You're a product, you're selling the product. What can this product do? Right? How can this product help people? So now let's ask the same question again, but say, how can your product help people?
Let's see. No, it's gone. Okay.
Well, it can help them, with better relationships. It can help them with their own current businesses, connecting to customers.
How to, I mean, just be happier in general with like helping with mindset stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can help them. Could help them create a life of freedom, a life of excitement and joy in their relationship, in a like a partnership, or with their kids, or with their families, or at work, or with themselves.
They can learn how to fly.
You can learn how to fly. Yeah, I can teach
Drive.
you how to fly. I can teach you how to drive. I can get people from point A to point B in a multitude of ways.
You can work with youth who are struggling with drugs and alcohol and suicidal, and help them break through and seeing what's in their way.
Yeah. How can your product help people? And we're the product, right? We're the product. I'm the product.
Well, yeah, we're more talking about you.
Why are we talking about me?
Now we're talking about both of you.
Yeah. See.
Okay, well then I'm a nurse, and I can be an environmental instructor, environmental campaign.
So you can help people like with their health, like specifically like creating diet regimens and like how to live a healthier life, right? From a very strong point or authoritative point.
Can help people in taking care of their kids. What else?
What about technical stuff? Technical online business stuff.
Oh yeah.
Make YouTube videos.
I can set up websites pretty quickly and easily. We can help other people market their business.
How to do list building.
Yeah, list building. We can help people develop their own skill set, their own like business desires. Like talk to people and listen to them in a way so that we can like thread out what it is that they want to do. So like career coaches, career counseling, or something like that. And let's see. I don't know much about SEO, so I'm not quite there yet. Copywriting, not quite there yet.
Yeah, YouTube videos.
Copyright editing. I got a knack for that comma doesn't belong there.
Copyright editing. There you
go. Let's see. I think so.
Yeah.
Anything else? That done on that one?
Yeah, nothing else coming to mind.
Okay, cool. So quite like a lot of stuff down here, especially down this technical part. Upwork. So list yourself on Upwork.
Oh, that's right.
Get a few jobs, come in here and there, a bit of extra cash. Just supplementing. Now, how about this? So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do actually. This is going to be CJ and Kelsey. Just call this capital raising ideas. And I'm going to move this to your folder. Resources, that one goes. CJ and Kelsey there. Cool. And I'm just going to go into your file. In fact, I needed that. Doesn't matter. Resources, that members, CJ and Kelsey. And let's also make one of these. And here's what we're going to do. So we're going to do capital raising idea, potential capital lump sum, or potential capital monthly. And let's do, what else would you need? Hours required. So like your drain on time. And if we're doing that, it's going to be, I'll do the formula in a minute. So current capital, current 3 hours per week. So let's insert a couple left of that. So let's do weekly time commitments. So what do you do each week that takes up time?
What do I do each week that takes up time? Work for Gareth and Magda.
Yeah.
Do you want a list right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Work for Gareth and Magda. And that takes anywhere between 5 hours a week to probably like 10 hours a week.
Let's put 10. Next one.
And then Lyft, which there's no real, I mean, like commitment. That's just based upon what it is, like what I work, like.
Just give an estimate of it.
Yeah, how much do you typically work to cover your rent, or basically do, you know, achieve what you want to achieve by doing it?
Yeah, let's say 20.
20 hours?
Yeah, 20 hours.
And just so I'm clear, so if you were no longer to have the expense of marketing, based on everything that you're doing at the moment, could you maintain living as you're living at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what we're talking about is the difference required to continue marketing, essentially.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What else?
That mentorship thing, that's 2 hours a week.
Yeah. Yep. Mentorship 2 hours a week, and then I mean, I meet with a group of guys for about 2.5 hours a week, every Wednesday night. 3 hours.
That's social.
Yeah, that's
let's group all social together, like roughly socializing, date nights, friends and family, all that kind of stuff.
Date nights.
He's always on a date.
You're just always on a date.
Let's see. I don't know. 10 hours for social a week.
10 hours. Okay, so for me, there's
And then you got the 2 hours in there.
Yeah. So yeah, 12 hours total social. I don't socialize much.
Well, I'm saying that it's in the 10 hours.
Oh, it's in the 10. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Never mind. We're good. So it's just 10 hours.
Yeah, keep going.
Do you want me to put mine in as well, or should we just focus on his?
let's do this is going to be CJ's because it'll be one person per weekly hours committed.
And then working for us, for like, we got Live a Life of Play and then Inspire Coaching. And
Let's separate them.
yeah, okay. Live a Life of Play probably is about 10 hours a week right now. And then
Inspire Coaching.
Yeah.
Inspiral.
Inspire.
It's
Yeah.
And then that's probably, I don't know. We're putting probably.
We're putting some good amount of time into it.
Like 8 to 10.
Yeah,
8, I'll say.
Yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. What about sleeping?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's roughly 8 hours a night.
Yeah.
So 8 times
8
7.
times 7, 40. Wait, what? Oh shit, brain. Fuck.
Yeah, right. I know, it's like 42.
49?
That's not right.
No.
So 64 minus 7.
64. Wait, what?
Oh my god, I can't believe we're 56.
Nice.
No.
Mental, man.
Fucking hell. Wow, that just blew all of our minds.
We're done.
I mean, it's late for you, it's early for us, you know. We can hardly be blamed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
sleeping, eating, 3 meals a day, hour and a half, hour. Well, how much do you reckon?
Yeah, hour and a half.
Yeah,
with all
hour
the
and a
food prep
half.
and stuff.
Yeah, so hour and a half.
So 4.5. 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours
a day.
Oh.
Right.
Well, hour and a half per meal.
Oh, I guess.
No, I was thinking hour and a half total. Like an hour and a half per day, right? So an hour and a half times 7. So I don't know. Because I'm short.
10.5.
Yeah. Cool.
Personal hygiene.
Yeah. Yeah, like self-care. I mean, do we do hygiene as self-care?
Yeah.
Yeah, just more like, you know, the morning, nighttime.
14. I mean, probably like between 14 and 16.
Cool. Let's say 14, a couple of hours a day, hour morning, hour evening, something like that. Yeah. Cool. Anything else? So you could put like downtime in there if you spend like a little time here and there, just chilling, watching TV, something like that.
We don't
sounds
do that,
nice.
but
That sounds great.
We go on walks and stuff.
We do go on walks.
That's our downtime.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could. Yeah. Okay. Probably
like 4 hours, 3 hours a week.
Yeah, 4 or 5, maybe. Yeah.
What are we missing? Do you feel that you have? Do you feel that there's time in your days that you're doing other stuff, or do you feel that you never stop?
I mean, apparently I've got 25 hours a week.
No, that doesn't make sense because 20, 10, that's 30, 40, 50, 60. That doesn't make sense.
159.
So 168 hours in a week, 7 days.
And it's all minus.
Oh, it's all a minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see.
Saturdays and Sundays, what would they normally look like?
Well,
we don't have a typical schedule.
But on our days off.
So on our days off,
we go hiking. I mean, we work on the business still.
I would, I mean, I would lump it under the self-care. So maybe upping the self-care, the personal like the walks, upping that to like.
Up that to like what, 20?
Yeah.
Instead of 14?
Yeah, if we're taking it.
Yeah.
We really like to take care of ourselves.
Nice.
I mean,
are you classing like meditation and stuff under there?
Yeah.
Health and fitness.
Yeah, that's meditation, yoga, working out, you know,
Yeah.
showering, brushing teeth. I don't know if I would put reading under that.
Then there's reading too, right?
Um,
How much is reading per week?
I mean, I do like 30 minutes a day at least,
Mm-hmm.
if not more.
So 3.5 hours a week.
3.5 hours a week, yeah, 4 hours a week to lump it up.
Okay.
And then, God,
And then grocery shopping and stuff is with that, like those kind of like house stuff.
mm,
That's at least like 6 hours a week.
So shopping / cleaning /
Yeah, so
household.
taking care of the house / doing the dishes.
yeah, dishes, yeah, I guess so, huh?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, good. So basically, there's probably like a few other tweaks here and there. We're getting close now though, so we've pretty much mapped down what you guys spend your time doing. Good exercises to put some awareness into this throughout a week, and like you can literally look at what do I do every single day? What did I spend my time doing today? And you see how close it is to this here. So the benefit of this is not to, you know, track everything like a psychopath, but just to get some, you know, awareness around, well, how much time do I actually have? You know, what are the things that I'm currently committing my time to? Which of these are high priority, not high priority? And then as we go through these ones here, you can look at well, how much time would be required to implement each of these ideas, particularly the ones that are going to be monthly potential capital. And what this means is, you know, as you're looking at these ideas, you know the current feasibility of this idea based on your current environment. And you, again, now that you can look at this, let's say you've got an idea that's going to require 10 hours per week, you can then rank it in order of importance against the other stuff that you do. So, well, for 10 hours a week, let's say that this number down here was actually 0. You've got everything down. So for us to find 10 hours per week, what out of this can be dropped in order to implement this idea if this is a route that we want to go down? Okay, so prioritization. So what you guys can do now, so I'll leave you to start investigating this and do this moving forwards, but you write down in here all of the capital raising ideas that we have come up with, all of this stuff, and then you put down, well, how much money, if you were to successfully implement that idea, how much money could that give you? If it's a lump sum, you put it in the lump sum column. If it's a monthly recurring income, you put it in the monthly column. If it's saving you money each month, so for example, moving out, you know, of your home, then this would just go into 1,200 a month in plus capital here. And what you have at the end of it is all the ideas that you can come up with, the incredibly huge amount of capital that you could get your hands on if you're willing to get uncomfortable enough, and also the potential monthly capital that you could generate from implementing all your ideas. And I guarantee when you do this exercise as well, you'll start to have other ideas, because as you start to see how wrong our thinking is about what we think is possible, when you put these numbers down here, in fact, I'll tell you what, I'm even going to put a total. Let's do a total. In fact, let me do it here. And we'll do it totales. And we'll do it so it adds up as you go. And you'll visually see this starting to increase. Yeah, this equals some that, and that's going to be equal some that. Don't need totals in hours required, because obviously you're not going to implement everything. You just need to see how many hours each thing would take. And let me give you a few more in there. So I'll shift down. So as you're going down this, what you'll find as you start seeing this number go up into like the 10,000s, for example, or this one going into the 100,000s, your brain's going to be like, holy fuck, is this how much I've got available? And then it's going to start getting very creative and start thinking about even more ways that you could start to build this number higher. And then it will almost turn into a game, and then you'll probably feel quite excited about this. And when you feel excited about this, the way that you see it again will change, and you'll come up with even more ideas. All right, so this is in your spreadsheet. So let's just go, sorry, in your Google Drive folder. So let's call this capital raising ideas. You guys should have edit access already. Yeah, cool. So you can edit. So fill this in.
Yeah.
And I reckon this will really help. By the way, was this what you actually wanted to talk about on this call?
Yeah, I mean,
it's relevant. We were wanting to talk about fostering our list and how to really connect with their list to inspire them to move forward.
Yeah.
If you guys can be on the goal call on Tuesday, we'll do a segment on that specifically, if you like, on top of obviously everything that we talked about today.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Legend.
Sure. Yeah.
Good stuff. Are you happy for this recording to be shared? This is really powerful.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this having a live walkthrough. What do you say?
I don't think I said anything incriminating.
I don't think you did either. I think it's all good. No, this, actually having a live walkthrough example of how to actually do this exercise. I think for so many people that, hear us banging on about, here's how you do the exercise. I don't think many people actually fully get the power of doing it in the way that you guys have shown this today. So, really, really powerful call. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. I recognize that we, went twice over the allotted time. So thank you so much. Appreciate it, Dan. Really appreciate your time.
You're more than welcome. No problem, guys. Hope it helped. See you on the goal call and have an awesome weekend.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll do. You too.
Thanks, guys. See you later. So following the call with CJ and Kelsey there, I've just taken a second to basically tie down the exercise that we started doing here regarding how can your product help people. So in this case, CJ and Kelsey being the product. Now, when you're going through this example and you start looking at the value that you can give, you can then start thinking about how can this translate, right? How can your product helping people or yourself helping people? What ideas can you put in place to translate that into revenue by giving value? So, for example, right? So you start thinking about how you can connect your product with people to provide them value. So, for example, let's say you look at going down the path of helping business owners market their business, and you were going to charge them $500 per month for your support for 10 hours per week. Now, bear in mind, for a business owner, that would be about 1/6 of the cost of hiring a full-time marketing exec. If you were to do that, $500 per month, you would write it into your capital raising spreadsheet here. So, for example, you would put help 3 businesses for their marketing, and that would be 30 hours per week. Okay, so 30 hours per week, and for that you'd be potentially looking at a $1,500 per month retainer. Okay, so that's how you'd write that down. Help 3 businesses with their marketing for 30 hours per week. And the point of this is, again, when you get this specific, you realize it doesn't actually seem like that much of a mountain to just find 3 businesses to help, and that gives you $1,500 per month, especially with the skill set that CJ and Kelsey have. They go find 3 businesses, help with their marketing, boom, they've just got $1,500 per month. That's a marketing budget. That's one idea, problem solved. Okay, you go down the list and you do this with all the other ideas, everything else you've got. In fact, I won't even put, I'm just going to put 1,500 in there because that's going to then formulate down here properly. And yeah, as you put all these ideas down and you look at like the amount of potential that you've got and the amount of monthly revenue that this could generate, seriously powerful stuff to see this unfold. This is the epitome of shifting from a problem-focused mindset into a solution-focused mindset. And this is what this idea does. And CJ and Kelsey are the perfect example of moving through these challenges and doing what it takes to shift into a solution-focused mindset. So I hope this exercise helps. I hope this makes sense. And if you do this for yourself in your own business, really start getting these ideas down. Think from all angles. Like we said on the call, you don't need to, or don't look at it through the lens of whether you feel comfortable doing this thing or not, or whether you think it's realistic or not, or whether you think you're capable or not. drop all of that stuff and just write down any idea that you could do, except for ideas that either hurt people or yourself, or ideas that are illegal, like robbing a bank. You know, that's the stuff that doesn't count. Okay, so go through this exercise, do it, and you can use this for any goal that you want to achieve that you're currently struggling to achieve. So really excited to see how this unfolds for them and which of these ideas they implement to continue moving forwards. Thanks very much for watching the video with them. And again, CJ and Kelsey, if you're watching this follow-up, really appreciate you guys sharing, you know, so much there for other people as well. So well done, guys. Thanks very much. We'll see everyone in another video. Bye for now.